Hi guys, welcome back to the next episode of SamDjanShow. Today we're talking about what went wrong with the X-Men movie, so let's get into it. Welcome back to the next episode of SamDjanShow. Today when we talk about pop culture, today we're talking about what went wrong with the X-Men movies. By the way, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for results. So today I'm gonna go through all the X-Men movies. I'm gonna tell you where they went wrong. So I start. So in 2000 we had X-Men, which this was directed by Bryan Singer, and this is the first time we saw X-Men. Which X-Men were popular in terms of the comics and the animated show, and so obviously 20th Century Fox thought it was a good idea to make a movie, and I think it's great. And this paved the way for many superhero movies. Obviously, we had Blade, we had Spider Man, the first Spider Man movie, but this one was it was successful. It was good. The first time seeing live action. Like I like this movie. There's some stuff I don't like about it. Like I think the others are just so like underused. I feel like just Professor X, Magneto, and Wolverine. I feel like Cyclops, Storm, Jean Grey, Rogue, all of them are so underused in this movie. And I thought some of the effects, some of it's good, some of it's not. But X Men was successful, and so yeah. So we had XMen II, which I honestly think out of the original trilogy, this is the best one. We get to see Nightcrawler, and we get all these new characters. And I honestly think X-Men 2 is one of my favorite one. And I think out of this one, I think this one holds us up a bit more. Like the opening scene with Nightcrawler still holds up. I still think it's a good movie and I enjoy it. And so it's X-Men 2. And then yeah, so then X-Men Lost and they decided to do the Dark Phoenix Saga, which technically should be two movies, but they decided to cram it in one. And I just don't like this movie. And the reason why is there's so many problems with like Professor X dies, Cyclops dies, and like Jean Grey dies at the end. It's just I feel like there's just way too many characters. And I just feel like all the characters just aren't like they're not fleshed out enough to the point where I don't care about them. So it's like I just this movie was just bad, and then this was like pretty much it with the X Men movies, and then we had X Men Origins, which obviously this was made during the strike, so obviously this movie was just bad. The Deadpool was bad, and yeah, so they was gonna do an X Men Origins Magneto, but obviously because this movie didn't do well, they signed on to do it. And so that's X Men Origins Wolverine. This one was just a terrible movie. Then they decided to reboot the whole thing, but this one was a prequel and cast new actors, which is X Men First Class. I actually like this movie. Like I have criticism with it, like Darwin dying, but I think overall, I think it's a good movie. I think this was a great start. I honestly wish they should have just continued with this, but I think obviously this is my second favorite X Men movie. Then we had the Wolverine, which honestly is a much better improvement than X Men Origins when Wolverine goes to Japan. And I actually like this movie. I think this one's really good. So yeah, I recommend you check this one out. And then Days of Future Past, which is basically a time travel movie where Wolverine goes back in time to try and goes back in time, and then you get to see the older versions of the characters. You get to see the young Magneto and Professor X. And actually, this is my favorite X movie. I think this is really great. And then we had Deadpool, which Deadpool was great, R rated. I enjoy this movie. I think it's great. And yes, this one's really good. And yeah, so then we had X Men Apocalypse. This is when the franchise was like they decided to bring Apocalypse, and I don't like Apocalypse. I don't know how they use practical. It should have been like Thanos, where they did CGI. And I think this movie is just terrible. I just don't like this movie. I feel like the characters are good, but I feel like the story isn't good, and that's pretty much like. And then we had Logan, which this one is a masterpiece. I'm happy we got this movie. It's about old man Logan, and I like this movie. It's R rated. I enjoy it. Everything was about it. This movie is a masterpiece. I love this movie. It's really great. I really love it. I recommend you check it out if you haven't. Then we had Deadpool 2, which is great. Not as good as the first one, but I still enjoy it. And then finally, next we had X-Men Dark Phoenix. Now this is technically the final X-Men movie, not including the New Mutants because that was a spin-off. But yeah, this one was the final one. I actually watched this in cinemas, and I actually enjoyed this movie. I know people didn't like it, but um, this movie, even though it wasn't the Dark Phoenix, this is based on Dark Phoenix. So even though I honestly think this could have been just should have been two movies, but obviously because of the acquisition of Fox and Disney, they only had one movie. This was already filmed. Even though it wasn't like the Dark Phoenix saga, I still think I like there's some parts of it I like. There's some stuff I didn't like, but the whole fight sequence on the train that end, the final act on the train was great. And for people who don't know, that was actually a reshoot. The whole scene was a reshoot, and the fact it looks so good. It looks so good. The fact that it was a reshoot is so insane to me. And I actually like this movie. Like, it didn't end the best. I think they could have done a better ending, but I do think it should be too. I hope in the MC we get a proper Dark Phoenix Saga movie. Ending the franchise, we have the New Mutants, which came in 2020. This was supposed to be 2018. Got pushed back. I actually like this movie. I saw it twice. I do wish it was a bit longer, but I think the New Mutants, I think it was okay for what it was. So yeah, and then we're gonna have Deadpool 3, which I hope this is good, and that's pretty much. So what went wrong with the X-Men movies? I just feel like they rebooted, and they just made it even worse. And it started off good, but it just became worse. And the problem with the X-Men franchise is that the timeline's all over to the place to is all over the place to the point that nothing like is like connected to like the MCU. Everything's interconnected. The X-Men movies, they try to do it, and then they try to do it with younger people. Then they did Deadpool, which was great. Then they did the Logan ones, which were great. But I hope Deadpool 3 is the only MCU movie again next year. I hope this is good. So this is pretty much it. This is pretty much what went wrong with the X-Men movies. You guys want to watch my videos? My next one. Bye.